excited to introduce Sonja Bohm, a user Londonjackbooks. She's going to be talking about contributing to Wikisource. Sonja, are you ready?
I am. Great. Hello, everyone, and can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. I'm Sonja Bohm, and I'm a volunteer contributor at the English Wikisource, and I wanted to thank you for this opportunity to speak about it. Just to note before my talk that I do not represent Wikisource, but I speak only of my own personal experiences and opinions. Let's see. For those not familiar with Wikisource, it's a Wikimedia Foundation project, an online library of free content source texts with genres from poetry to technology, fiction and nonfiction, and dictionaries and encyclopedias, all transcribed from original source texts by volunteers. Several tutorials are available online, written and presented independently by contributors that explain how to edit Wikisource. I will talk about the whys of contributing and what it means to me. Next slide, please. Purpose. A little background information. Back in the 80s, I stumbled across a 2-volume set of collected poems from 1916 written by a woman named Florence Earle Coates. Born into a family of Philadelphia Quakers, lawyers, and abolitionists, her poems sing of universal themes such as life, death, grief, hope, and striving for the stars despite hardship and toil. For 2 decades, I knew nothing about Mrs. Coates's life, but I had grown to love her poetry. Between 2007 and 2009, through extensive research, I gathered enough notable information together to create her Wikipedia article. My introduction to Wikisource that same year involved a contribution of mine being marked for a proposed deletion. I had self-published a pamphlet of public domain war poems written by Mrs. Coates and thought I would host the work at Wikisource. But there was concern that as a self-published anthology, it has, quote, a collection copyright, for you cannot produce a new anthology with the same works in the same order, end quote. After some more discussion, another contributor suggested that an even better contribution would be if I provide the wealth of transcriptions from the poet's original publications. I ate some humble pie and reconsidered my purpose for contributing. 2 years later, I successfully finished adding Mrs. Coates's complete works to Wikisource and most of her fugitive poems. During that time, I was also drawn in by the writings of other authors and poets, and my interest in the project expanded and continues to this day. Editing Wikisource allows me to exercise many of my hobbies and skill sets, such as reading, proofreading, and image editing. My contribution at Wikisource consists mostly of proofreading texts. Proofreading involves side-by-side comparison of an image of original text with OCR-generated text. General formatting is required, but often more technical formatting is called for. Other contributors have greater technical skills which I lack and are available to help when more difficult formatting is needed. I also enjoy working with images. High-quality image reproduction makes for a quality product and is an important aspect of proofreading texts with illustrations. Texts are transcribed letter by letter, word by word, line by line, and page by page. Attention to detail is key. I believe one should take on the task of proofreading with the heart and dedication of a monastic scribe. Just to note, the image on this slide is a platinum print photograph of Florence Earle Coates that I found pasted into the front board of a volume of her poetry, which I purchased online. I scanned the photograph and placed it into the public domain at Wikimedia Commons. It was restored by a Wikicommons contributor and is now a featured picture. Next slide, please. Lessons learned. Editing Wikisource is a community effort. Collaborative projects exist, such as Proofread of the Month, but in many cases you'll find individual contributors working on projects by themselves in which they hold particular interest. Where consistency of formatting is concerned, which is sought after, this can be a positive thing. Be courteous. Even though no contributor can lay claim to any part of Wikisource, and contributors are free to edit where they choose, it's my opinion that a certain amount of courtesy should still be exercised when considering proofreading a work another contributor is working on. Asking permission first is advisable and courteous. Best practice. Not all contributors agree on best practice where formatting is concerned. There are often several different formatting methods available for text rendering, and much comes down to personal preference and the nature of the work itself. A good rule of thumb is to keep formatting as simple as possible and consistent throughout a work. Annotation. The practice of user annotation of texts has been a point of discussion at Wikisource, and there is guidance available, but generally speaking, a clean text is preferred. One permissible and encouraged method of annotation is wikilinking within the Wikisource project. This practice allows readers the ability to cross-reference other works and author pages hosted at the project in a way that doesn't alter the author's original message. It's my opinion that just as one would not mark up a physical library book with embellishment or commentary, one should not add to, modify, or remove content during the transcription process of a Wikisource library text, with rare exception. Wikilinking within Wikisource is one exception, and its implementation invites us to take part in a larger conversation. Next slide, please. The bigger picture. Whereas Wikipedia is a source of information, Wikisource is a source of inspiration, a library of ideas where authors speak for themselves through their writing. It's the responsibility of the reader to discern fact from fiction, truth from error. In the words of Robert M. Hutchins from his 1951 preface to The Great Conversation, I quote, "The task of interpretation is the reader's. This is the machinery of life in the hands of free men." End quote. Lines from Shakespeare's Hamlet read, "He that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused." End quote. It's our capacity to reason that some believe separates man from beast. Whether contributor or reader at Wikisource, with an open mind, one will find oneself immersed in a conversation, a discourse of ideas. Interaction with Wikisource helps us to remember our past and allows us to build up upon the lessons of the past in order to create a better future. It's an opportunity to use our godlike reason to benefit not only ourselves, but the world at large. Wikisource volunteers make this discourse of ideas accessible to everyone to learn from and enjoy. It's the bigger picture of why I edit. Consider joining in on the conversation. Search the project for a favorite author's works to see if there are current projects to work on, or fill in the gaps by starting your own project. Perhaps introduce yourself at central discussion and ask other contributors about ways you can help, or jump right into the current proofread of the month. Editing Wikisource may appear daunting to a new contributor, but having a purpose and a desire to contribute is half the battle. Take things slow, ask for help, and have patience with the process as well as with other contributors. Be sure to come equipped with an internal motivation to contribute, for editing a wiki can at times be a thankless job, yet highly rewarding. Thanks for listening and happy editing.
Thank you, Sonja. That was an amazing presentation.